Okay, hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you Lotus Cypher Setups, and we're going to start with the cameras on A. So for the first one, just go above the door, jump and click. It's a pretty easy one, and it shows all of tree, so it's easy intel. And it's easy to confirm what's happening on the site, which is good. And some variations you can do are this one right here, where it'll show if they start to push into site, but those ones are more likely to get shot, so just be aware of that. And you can also just move it further up there like that. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show is just for regular A site, just good default cams that you can work in with each other. So this one shows the walkout of tree, back site, and walk in from A long. And that's just a good one to have in your arsenal, I guess. And now I'm going to show you kind of a sneaky little cam. If you go into this corner, aim at this leaf, gotta find the right one, but it really is just anywhere on there. It'll show the lockout from A long, and you'll be able to see their heads. And it's just some good info early on, and you can let your team know and play off of it. Okay, so now for one more camera, that's an option, and it's a pretty good one, is you just play the cam by these leaves. You actually have to go back to where you were standing to play the other one. And you just jump click, and it shows pretty much both walk-ons for site. If there's going up ropes, it gives you intel, but make sure you don't shoot it through those leaves because the dart doesn't go through. And if you want to change that so that you can ping, even if they're left side, you can just lower the cam a bit. And then the variations are you just move it along that left wall. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys the one way. If you just aim at this block spot on the leaf here and throw your cage.
Cage triggered.
Yeah, it's a nice one way to play off of. You can see them walking onto site. That's good. You can pair it with a trip and a cam. And the trip I recommend you play it with is probably just this one. Or there's another one I'll show later when you do the trip setups, and you can do a cam just anywhere over here.
Cage triggered.
Well. It's just giving you an easier option to light your cage up, but you could also play the one way with the cam that I showed you earlier that you throw from up here. It just gives you a good angle on it. Now I'm going to show you that this one way is actually really good on attack side too. If you get the plant down in the corner, covering the one way, so like, yeah, here. What's good is it gives you, the planter's got no angle on you until he starts, diffuser, got no angle until he starts diffusing. And if you play from here,
cage triggered,
you can see him the whole time very easily. And there's actually, if I throw it one more time to show, you could also play it with a teammate where you're over by the door and your teammate can be playing in a tree. Same thing, they don't really have an angle. Okay, let's finally get into the trips. So for A site, there's this trip right here where if you aim it on the inside corner of the box, you can cut off just the walk-in from tree completely. They can't go back side, and you pair it with these
cage triggered.
You can either shoot through the cage, play the trip, or walk through, and that's just that's probably the best A site setup you can do. And then a trip you can do if you want to switch it up is this one right here. Once the barrier goes down, that shuts off the walk-through from A long. Pair it with a cage, and if you hide in this corner, which is now no longer walking,
cage triggered,
it can work out pretty well. And compare it off with the same thing once the barrier goes down. Okay, I gotta move a little more forward, and then yeah, just there. Same thing. It shows if they're walking in. That cam's actually really good for early game because you can see if they're going towards door or if they're pushing up A long. And then these are some trip variations you can do if the one trip keeps getting shot or broken. Just higher it, lower it, put it further on a box, put it higher on the box, stuff like this. And then this is also a very good one, shutting off that entrance into broken. And then if they have an omen who like sets EP right there, you can just easily trip that corner. It's not being wasted because it also makes sure they can't push into your spawn. You could move it a little more forward if you want. Looks good. And then finally, this one's a little hard to play, so you have to place it before the barrier comes down, or at least try to find it then. It's just in the corner of this tree. Yeah. Very good. They just can't walk on. It's another really good one. And compare it with a cage like this. The cam in that tree. And yeah. Work over
Cage
right
triggered.
And then the final variations you can do are just always interchangeable, you know, you always want to be changing your trips. The trips are, at least once you get to higher elo, less for the free kill, more for cutting off question marks on the map. You know, if they haven't broken through a trip or haven't hit it, you know that they're not in that area, so that and that eliminates different possibilities on the map. Okay, so now let's get into B site. So the first cam you can do is right here. It's just on my mouse died. So it just shows, you know, most of the site. You can go right above the entrance with a little jump. Same thing. B site is less of Cypher's playground than A and C. It's definitely one of his weaker sites. You can also do this one. Same thing, just shows site. This is if they usually push C. You can see if they're cutting into B from CT side. And yeah, those are the cameras I'd recommend. For trips, there's not really too many. There's the simple one everyone does, you know, just block off the entrance without them either shooting it or hitting it. I thought there was one up there, I might have just not found it, but you just want to, like, you know, same thing I said with A. B site is more of just cutting off where they could be. You could do stuff like this. I'd actually lower it a little bit and just do something like this. Deny the plant if the plant is low. You know, it's just about cutting off where they could be heading instead. Just cutting off the question marks like I said on A. There is actually one very good trip for B that I completely forgot about until editing this, which is right here. It cuts off the lurk through B. If they have a Viper or another side revives, whoever it would be that likes to lurk through, it cuts it off, and the only way around it is by giving out a sound cue, a drop. And you could vary that by putting it higher and lower, but if you were gonna put it lower, I'd recommend playing that site, because they would be able to get past it without giving as obvious a cue, or even a cue if they know to silent jump. Now, you know I couldn't leave B site without a one-way, so this one I found also while editing this video, because I thought I needed to give B site a little something extra. So if you count out these ridges up until the 6th one, right there, aim a little to the middle and then a little left. And when you throw your cage, it bounces like that. Now, it is hard to do, so I would recommend you practice that one before. Like, this is my 3rd time trying to film me throwing it. And there goes that footage, but yeah, the way it works is you can light it up,
Cage triggered.
you get a nice angle on them, and they can't see where you're really standing from there. This cage doesn't show it as well, but walking out, you see them a good 1 or 2 seconds before they see you. It works really well. However, this is only on attack once the bomb is planted. And we're finally on C. Now, the cams I'd recommend are this one right here. It shows the walk into sight and if they're pushing towards backside. And pretty much anywhere along this top wall right here is a good one. It's less likely to get shot than you think, and you can get a lot of info out of it. If you push the cam back pretty far, you can see the walk into the waterfall site, and yeah, it works really well. You can switch it up, put one here if you want to more play more passive with the cam, or evens onto this area. Okay, and now I'm going to show you one of my favorite cams to play on this map. You can either play it on this right angle here, but it's not as good here. What is really good to do is if you play it on the left here, however high, just anywhere above that different texture, like that, you can see the plant. And it's really strong for tagging the planter, wallbanging him, just to 9 plants because they can't see it. You see them way before they see you. And what's good about it is there's only really one angle where they can see it, which is on the walk up for like a split second. And that's gone again, but you can see them the whole time here. It's just, yeah, it's a crazy cam. Okay, now I'm gonna just show the trips. There's that one right there with the box. Same thing as most of the trips in this game, or on this map, I mean. There's that one there. These ones all throughout are good options, just a 9 back sight without you knowing it. You can pair this one right here. They can't get through without, once again, so there's
Cage triggered.
slow pushes that will get past you. And if you're doing that one, you can pair it with a cam that you place like out here, just anywhere really outside. Just get the info, you know? I've said this 3 times already.
Cage triggered.
I'm saying it again, but most of Cypher is just getting rid of question marks. So do that however you can. And there's a lot of trips all throughout Seaside that work very well, just because they have to clear so much on this map. There's a lot of angles mixed in with a lot of places where you could put your util. So if you just keep them guessing, you're in for a fun time. Okay, as these last trips get placed, just want to say thank you again if you made it to the end, or even just for watching a tiny bit. It's fun to make these videos, so it's fun to have people watch them as well.